Morning, brother. Getting this out on Twitter and then we'll get going, guys. All right. So we got market open here. Um, let's see if the 50s can hold. Like maybe we get a base at that 50 area. The way that I'm looking at this, I'm going to fix my chart here for you guys. Don't worry. Um, but the way that I'm looking at this right now is, above 50, if 50 holds, then I'm going to stay bullish on it. So I'm using 50 as that level for me. Above 50, I'm going to be looking for longs. If we get a breakdown under 50, I'll look for shorts and then use 50 as my exit. If it was to reclaim it, then I would flip long again. So just, it's very, very early in the morning. That's just my first initial thoughts that I'm going to be using that 50 level in that way. Um, but we got these first 15 minutes here. A lot can happen in those first 15 minutes that the 50 level might not even be relevant in 15 minutes from now. So we will find out. What's up, Sean? Good to see you, brother. Let me get my other charts pulled up here, guys, and I'll get a full game plan going for us. Good to see you, Patrick. I am liking, this movement on the market this morning. Uh, leads me to believe that we might have a decent Friday on our hands here. Yes, there is a way, Sean, to add the EMA to your Volumetrica. Um, I'll DM you after stream and I'll show you exactly how to do it. I'll record a video of it for you. Yeah, there you go, Patrick. That is what you do. You type in moving average and then you select you change the SMA to EMA. Like if you can find SMA, you can change it in that setting to EMA. No, you're good, brother. It's no bad at all. It's just could be a little bit confusing, but just glad that you got that squared away. And if you guys are new to the stream this morning, I know most of our viewers will be on Twitter as they start filtering in, but if you guys are new to the stream, then we do wait the first 15 minutes here. Good morning, Jeff. We wait the first 15 minutes for a lot of reasons, but the chessboard becomes a lot clearer after those first 15 minutes are in, and our setups become higher probability that they're going to work for us. Um, so the best thing to do in the first 15 minutes is just to sit here, you know, don't worry which way it's going to go, this or that, no FOMO. We just wait and watch. And then we get, a little bit of data. We're gathering data these first 15 minutes, how the market's acting, like kind of how we're moving at this price or that price. And then after the first 15 minutes, we can kind of see what level that we're hanging around at and have a higher percentage of winning. That and um, this is about the time I take my first Alp of the morning. So usually I take it right now by the first 15 minutes, it's kicking in just right, and then we get into the zone. Morning, Sasha. Do I like EMA over SMA? Um, if I was going to use indicators, I would probably pick EMA myself. I used to use the 9 EMA and the 20 EMA. I use those quite a bit. If it would come and bounce off of one of those, I would use it for a long entry. If it comes touches the 9 EMA, I would take in, a decent sized position looking for a bounce. But I would always leave myself a little bit of room to add down to the 20 EMA. Like that's my ultimate bounce level. If I can get to the 20 EMA, I'll take a decent position, but that's also my line in the sand, meaning if it breaks under the 20 EMA, there's kind of no hope left for it for the short-term future. What's up, Philpot? But if I were going to use moving averages, that's how I would use them. I keep a pretty clean chart, so I don't use them as much these days, but there are some benefits to them, just based on what your trading style is at the time. But me right now with the scalps that I do, I'm going pretty much exclusively based off of market structure and psych levels. Oh yeah, what's up, Meredith? You got your Zen this morning? Like I said, guys, we all know it to be true. If anybody's an addict in this channel, it's Meredith. Do I avoid trading the first 30 minutes? No, I don't avoid the first 30 minutes. I avoid the first 15 minutes. Oftentimes, it might be 30 minutes before I take a trade, but I'm not actively trying to avoid the first 30 minutes. So for me, it's the first 15 minutes, but sometimes trading within those first 30 minutes, if news is coming out at like 10 Eastern time or something like that, I'm a little bit more cautious. And then, you know, after the first 30 minutes, I guess less risk is out there for us, but there are some decent setups that you can get after the first 15 minutes and, already be up on a nice cushion by the time that the 30 minutes rolls around. Someone just said they looked up Zen, pretty interesting. Yeah, I've been saying it. I still like Zen. I don't have anything against Zen. I still take Zen from time to time, but I like the flavor of Alp better. And it just, I don't know. There's something with the way that the nicotine hits off of the Alp pouches that I enjoy. But don't get me wrong. I'll Zen with the boys any day of the week. Not that I'm addicted. It's just social zenning. Like you have social drinkers that they don't have an alcohol problem, but they, go out and drink socially at dinner or something like that. It's the same way with Zen. If you socially Zen with the boys, you're not addicted. You're just, there for the setting. Some people enjoy a nice social cigar. It's actually celebrated. It's the same way with Zen. Yeah. So what ticker on stream? It's ES, which is if I'm assuming you might be coming over from options, and if that's the case, it's the same thing as trading SPY options, just a lot smoother um, for many different reasons. And I've gone over those reasons on my Twitter if you kind of want to go back and look at that. But just, you know, main thing is they move smoother. You don't have to worry about theta decay or any of the nonsense that options come. And it's easier to get in and out. You don't got to go to the option chain, contract selection, or anything like that. So I think if you do make the switch over to futures, you'll really enjoy them. The rationale of an addict. Meredith, I'm not judging you for your addiction. Um, we're here to support you, so It's okay if you want to lash out and project. I'm okay with that. About 5 more minutes to go here, guys. Um, you know, it looks like we might want to be a magnet to 75, to 60, 75. We were kind of playing there the other day. 75 was holding up as a pretty interesting level. Like we got a lot of consolidation around 75. So I would imagine that we might be a magnet up to that. Now, if we can break above it, that's a different story. I don't know. Uh, it might be another little battle right there of consolidation to, figure out which way we're going to go. We're either going to reject hard off of 75 or we're going to bust over it. So, we'll give these next 5 minutes, hopefully, that it kind of makes the picture a little bit clearer for us. We kind of, the full open range has not been fully defined yet, but we are kind of at the top end of it. Like it's looking like at least we want to attempt to break to the upside. So, about 3 minutes to go here. If it stays here around 70, maybe if I can get 67 or something like that, I might try to ride one up to 75 test. We tap 67 for a second. I want to see if I can come back, get a better tap of 67. There we go. Take one starter right there at 67. We got like 2 minutes left for this open range to be defined. So I'll put one starter on with the thought process like we've been talking about that we're going to go up and at least test 75. And maybe if I could get like a 62 for a second, I would take a second contract on. Um, but if we failed 60, I would just take out this contract. About 60 seconds to go until the full 15 minutes are in. We're trying, like I said, I think that 75 area at least wants to test itself. Whether we break it or not, I don't know, but I think we're going to come test close to it. Okay, we have our full 15 minutes defined now. So like I said, I just want to go see if I can tap 75. Just throwing up a little layup to start the morning, seeing what happens. Okay. Put a second one in right there, just the same logic. But this time the full 15 minutes are defined. So I'll have 2 contracts on. And then see if we can just go up and tap that 75. Go ahead and put a stop loss right down here, right under 60. Because I don't want to break under the 60s too far. See what happens here. I still think at some point today 75 will test. Good morning, Barash. If we can get back up there above my entry and close to 70, I'll probably put a third contract on. That would be the condition for me to do it, though. Average up into strength if 70 looks like it wants to break. Otherwise, I'll get out if we fill the 60s. $60 test right here. All right, so I got stopped on that one right there. I was just trying to go see if we could grab 75. Didn't work out. So, we just took a miss right there, but it's okay. We have literally all day to find a better setup. So, I want to see if 60s truly are failing, or if it, pops back up into the 60s and maybe goes and tries again. Then I'll take the same shot if it does. Oh yeah, we're going to make it back easily. Don't even worry about it. So as long as we're above that 50, remember I said, when the market first opened, above 50, and I'm still looking for longs. If we start breaking that 50, then I would be bearish. So we're at 55 right now. Let's see how we do with this 50 level. It's looking like we might want to come down and test 50 at least. Put a starter to the short side coming down to test this 50. Just looking at the 5-minute, we're down here at that open range low area. So I want to see if I can just push under 50 real quickly, and I'll take the scalp off if I can get under 50. We're trying here. Just give us a little bit more fills. So on the 5-minute here, I'm still watching. We're still trying to fill this open range low. So that was a decent size rejection up there off of the 75 area. I'm just going to, stick in this trade, assume that that rejection is valid, and that we want to pop under 50. Put another one on right there. Give us this 50 break. Fifty is an important level, so it'll never just give it up, without a fight. Take one of those off there, and I'm just going to ride with my 2 now. Took a few scalp. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys. On like most of these entries, we go into the profit almost every time. It's just a matter of how fast you guys want to take your profits. My plan on this trade is I want to see if I get the breakdown of 50, but we almost always go 2 or 3 points minimum into the profit no matter what. So, if you just want to take your quick scalps that way, that's fine by me. But trying to see if I can get my proper breakdown of 50 here and make this trade worth it for me. I'm going to put my third contract short back on there just because it's Friday. I got nicotine in, and I'm just really optimistic. Just want to clear those candles down there, get a decent size drop, and then be out of it. That opening range low is looking like it's struggling to hold. So, if it's struggling, then I'm going to be in the side that's testing it. Come on, just give us one fill of 50, and that's all we're looking for. She's trying, guys. She's trying. Go back down to my 2 contracts here, just because it could be a battle here at 50, and I don't want to, just skyrocket up with 3 contracts on. With 2, whatever. 3, I don't really want that to happen, but still wanting this to push down here. There we go. All right, now I'm down to 1, and I'll start dragging a stop loss with me. Just because even though we are failing 50, it could snap back up in a moment. All right, so there we go. I'm basically back to flat on the morning now. That first one we took a loss on, and then sized up an extra contract on this one. Still not that large of a move, really, in the grand scheme of things. A few points off of that, but I'm back to even on the day. So Um, we got what? 60 seconds here until the 10 a.m. Central Time candle. Let's let that come in. Then the first 30 minutes of the day are in the books, and then we'll see what we can make happen. But we are at that key level of 50. I think, this next candle coming here in 30 seconds will kind of set the tone for the rest of the morning. Either we hold 50 and we can go back up and test that open range high, or we're going to fail 50 and maybe even get back down to those 30s that I hate. So let's see what's in store for us here. We'll take another starter to the short side here, guys. Just thinking that 50s might give up and be a little bit weak on us. So I just got one contract on until I get some more confirmation that 50s are going to, fail. Trying to trade in the trend that we're in and off of these psych levels at the same time. If we can come back up a tad bit more and proper retest that open range low again and fill it, I'll slap in pretty heavy to it if that happens. Come on, just give us a little bit more of a push to the downside and let's do the thing. Put another one on right here. As this 50 area just keeps consolidating and seemingly looking weak. All right, we're probably going to maybe pop up a little bit here and test this open range low. So I'm anticipating a little spike here to test the open range low. And then what I would like to happen is us to pop up and then fail this in a pretty hard way. Maybe it's starting here, guys. Take one of mine off right there, and I'll trail this right there. Okay, getting stopped into the profit. Um, keeping my stuff nice and tight this morning. We are in the green a little bit on the morning. First trade was a loss. Second two scalps were a winner. So we're sitting small in the green, not enough to really be happy with, but just trading this price action as we're coming with it here. Yeah, a few more scalps. That's what I'm doing too, Patrick. Sometimes you set your expectation for your day based on kind of how the price is acting. Like, of course, I would love to let this extend and keep going, but if price is being a little bit difficult, then, locking in profit is always a good thing. Sure, there's more that we can always make. Maybe we hold the trade longer, maybe we make more. Or the opposite side of that coin is maybe it just retraces back up on us and then just chops us up. So never be too upset about locking in profit. But that 50 is looking weak. Uh, it's not really given a hard push down below 50 just yet. I mean, it could come any minute, but until we get a hard push, meaning get us some good distance away from 50, I'm still being cautious that, it might retrace up, reclaim 50, and then go for the long side. So that's why I'm being a little bit cautious around this 50 key level right here. Looks like we are putting some distance in between it, though, to go test 40. Either way, we're taking our little layups. We're chipping away. We're putting some wins on the board. So you know I go into every morning like never trying. Like, all right, it's my mission this morning that I have to capture the full big move. I never go into the morning thinking that. I just go into the morning thinking, all right, I want to manage my risk the best that I can, and I just want to put a lot of scalps on the board, build myself up to a nice profit cushion. So that's how I approach every morning. I don't mind taking 5 or 6 scalps to add myself up to a pretty decent day. Yeah, I mean for longs, Patrick, 60-40, that's an important level because if we get down into those 60-30s, it could start getting a little dodgy. Those 60-30s for longs and shorts are a headache. We might go all the way down to 60-30 and just completely flush it. It's possible, or we could get a massive bounce off of 60-30. Either way, the 30s aren't going to be fun to trade if we get down into them. just watching this area. If we come up and it looks like we're going to break back into the 50s, I'll go long. But if we can't reclaim 50, then there's no reason to go long. First nicotine pouch is done. Give me about 5 or 6 minutes or so, and it's time for my next one. Pace ourselves out. See what we can do with this 40 area. I'm going to take one starter to the long side here. Just want to see if we can pop back up to the 50s is what I'm looking for on this. So I'm just taking one contract for the time being. If we get back above 50, I'll put 2 contracts on. If we just keep melting down, then obviously I'll take this one contract off. Just looking for a test of 50 up here, guys, is what I'm after. And the reason being why I'm taking this little, stab at it right here is because 50 was such a big level, and when we broke down under it, we didn't really just completely knife and keep going like I kind of would have expected on a major level like that. So we don't have a lot of distance away from 50 like I would like us to. So that is leading me to believe that we haven't seen the last of the 50s. If that line of thinking makes sense to you guys. And what I'm going to do to keep this nice and tight, I'm going to put a stop just right here under that previous wick because I don't want to go lower on it. If we go lower than what we were just at, that kind of invalidates my plan here. So keeping a really nice and tight stop, just looking to go up and grab 50 again. So worst case scenario here, I lose $100 in each account. That's worth the shot for me. A very low risk trade. Since we are a little bit low risk right there, I'm going to average up into that with 2 contracts. Why not? Yeah, a little bit of a weird morning so far. Um, Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to stay weird. I mean, it can always shapen up for us and then we'll be just fine. But so far, a little bit of an interesting morning. Might come down and take lows right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it down just a tad in case we come and we test that low and then bounce off of it. We're climbing up to that 50 test. She is a trying. All right, take that second contract off now, and now start trailing this thing up. Nice and clean. Put it back to around entry right there. That way we've made money no matter what on this trade at this point, and it would be worth the stab. Keep it going a little bit. It's what I said, like 10 or 15 minutes ago. If, the market is giving us bad price action and the movement's not great, we got to set our expectations a little bit lower. Based on what the market's doing, we got to adjust where we're taking profit. We got to adjust our risk and, manage it the best that we can in any condition. That's our job as traders, is always thinking about risk management. And every day is going to be different. Because the market doesn't move the same every day. Okay, so stopped in the profit there on that one. We're scalping our way to, you know, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I'm up in total right around $1,000 on the day. Nothing groundbreaking. I'm not going to retire off of it, but I'm, putting some wins on the board. Just layups. There's been no 3-point shots available for us this morning. They're defending that pretty good, so Sometimes you got to be happy with layups over and over, and then get your way to a win. But we are back to that 50 area that we kind of thought was coming. So our ideas are all, well, I mean, yeah, our ideas are pretty right this morning. It's getting there. It's just a very slow, boring way to get to each target. There you go, Jeff. That's what we like. From down 600 to up 160. Um, yeah, that's a good recovery. I mean, the market's really not giving us much to work with right now, but if we're green in this, then we're doing something right. So good job on that. I think something will present itself to us, though. So I wanted to take mine off at 50 right there because now we went up, grabbed 50 again, and that was a reject. So now I would anticipate maybe we go grab more lows, but if we can get back up around that 50 area and test it again, then I'll feel good about taking another stab to the long side. We got that rejection out of the way that we thought might happen. So now we sit here and wait and see if we want to test it again and maybe have more strength on our side, or if we're going to go grab lows. Take one stab long here. Um, just looking at where our open range is at, looks like it could potentially go test back up into that open range. And one contract, I'm happy with taking that. Yeah, on the 2 minute, Patrick, it is a bear flag. Uh, on the 5 minute, not so much. On the 5 minute, it's looking like we want to go retest that open range low. Maybe we won't, but I just have one contract on. All right, and then there we go. Let's see if we hold this area right here or if we want to break under the 40s. Let me put a stop loss down here, right under 40. All right, getting hit on that. Um, yeah, it was just a reject of that 50. So back to flat on the day for me. And we're coming down to that dreaded 60-30 area. Yeah, good job to you guys if you caught that short right there. I was thinking that we could go up and, test the 50s again. It just didn't come. So we do with 30 here. 30 is a very, very important level, guys. We've been talking about it for like the last month, honestly. Take a starter to the long side here, thinking that we might hold that 30. Just kind of want to go back up, maybe retest the top of this red candle right here. Take one of those off there now, guaranteeing some profit. Put my stop loss right above the entry there. See if we can get back into these 40s. Keep pulling this up with me. A little bit more. Keep it nice and tight, trailing. Okay. Stopped into the profit there, so small little scalp to the long side, kind of made back what I lost on that, thinking that we're going to go up and break 50. So still in the green on the morning. And, if you guys are watching this, you know, I'll take a lot of shots a lot of times, but my risk is very, very tight. So one loss, like, it really doesn't do anything to me at all because I know that my risk is very, very tight and I'll keep taking shots. More shots go in than what I miss. So if you structure it that way, that you always, on any given trade, you're keeping your risk tight, um, it doesn't really matter if you're taking a loss here and there. Oh, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, I just try to talk it out, like as I'm thinking exactly why I'm doing something, and then hopefully, that sticks with you guys. If we come down close to that 30 again, I might go short though. Just because if 30 starts to fail, I mean, it could get a little bit ugly. Yeah, take one contract short right here. Just see if we can get back down there to 30. Give us a little bit more lows. The essentials, guys, the essentials. Oh, good job, Brian. You're up a grand. That's incredible. Just want to see how we do with this 40 area here. I don't think that we're out of the woodworks yet on the downside. Put one more on right here, just because if we want to go and break 30, let's do it. Just looking for one fail of 30. And on this position, that'll put me, pretty decent. She's trying to go for it. We're in the profit here. I just want to let it go a little bit more. ES has just been showing weakness all morning, so I'm just trying to stick with that weakness here. Yeah, I think everything is weak this morning, guys. So, even if this trade for whatever reason doesn't work out for us, it's still we're trading it the right way just because there's weakness in the market this morning. And I know how important that 30 area is, so with weakness in the market, if it can go down and make 30 fail, then we really have something on our hands here. Having another test of 40 here. Let's see what we do with that. I'm going to give myself stop loss right there, right above that red candle. Because if we reclaim that red candle, at least this trade idea that what I'm looking for will be invalid. And it's possible. Would like to reject this 40 area and then give me a chance to average in some more to this on a confirmation that we're not going to reclaim the 40s. New 5-minute candle coming out in 30 seconds. So let's see what this new 5-minute candle does for us. Come on, fail 40 for us. Take one of those off. And now start pulling this down. That is the fail of 40 that we were looking for. That's why I give my stop loss a little bit of room up there so I wouldn't get stopped out early. We do everything off of logical levels here. All right, let's go. Let's just keep riding this thing down, guys. Let's do it. All right. Stopped in the profit there pretty decently. So now, that changed a very frustrating, not much happening morning to now I'm up 1500 on the morning. So that's what I'm saying, guys. A lot of times it seems very, very boring. Not much is happening. You keep taking a shot, maybe you get stopped out, but you have to keep taking those shots because one of them's going to really land for you, and one trade changes the entire direction of the day. Um, so I'm happy with that. I took many shots with nice and tight risk, saying, okay, if it doesn't work for me, then, I'm not out of the game or anything. But when it does work, then we're way, way, way up in the game. Uh, Jeff, if your stop was hit, that's why I said I give mine a little bit of a room right there because, we're looking for certain levels. Like, all right, that 40 area, like we don't want it to reclaim 40s. Sometimes the 40 area can be 1 or 2 points above it and then, hit you down because most people have their stops set like right at 40 or maybe 41 or something like that, which I do too sometimes, but like those are the logical stops, and sometimes you have to be okay with giving yourself a little bit wider of a room. Um, and that's why when I put mine on, I said, all right, I'm going to put it above this candle a little bit because if it claimed that candle, that would invalidate my idea. But, it didn't. If you look at that wick right here, it never reclaimed above that candle. So that's why, I say I use the market structure to really define my entries and my stops. But that was a good little trade right there. I'm happy with that one. And now, like we keep saying that 60/30 level is very important. Look, it crashed below that 60/30, but now it's getting wick back up and we're testing 60/30 again. That 60/30 spot's very, very frustrating. So, we need to see if it pops back into the 30s, or if we can get like a true confirmation that we're leaving the 30s and we're going down. But as long as we're right here around that 60/30 area, I don't want to be in either direction because I know that that's a frustrating spot. Thank you, Noah. I appreciate it. And it's important to remember, guys, that like, you know, that's why I keep saying one single trade. I'm not going to let that, ruin me, put me in a tilt mode, or ruin my entire morning because uh, it's not about, how you do on each individual trade. All that matters is what your daily total is at the end of the day. Um, you know, Nobody remembers like, quarter one, two, and three. Really not even much of quarter four. It's just at the end of the game. All right, who won the game? That's all anybody remembers. And that's the same way with trading, like you can get chopped up a few times. I mean, you can get chopped up a lot of times if you keep it nice and tight, and then you finish strong. So that's the most important thing. If you guys take anything today, that's what I want you to take from this. You know, no gambling on here, no getting frustrated, and just, we just keep slapping in, and hoping, all right, well, I think it's going to do this, I think it's going to do that. We let the market structure tell us. And it's not always going to be right. I mean, you guys saw today, I've not been right 100% of the time. I've taken a few losses on here today, two or three. And that's okay because I'm going with the market structure because I know more times than not it works out in our direction. But looking at The chart here, guys, I mean, there's really no reason to be going long right now. I mean, after we rejected up top here, after we rejected that 75 area that we thought that we might go grab, it rejected it, and it's just been, you know, a down spiral ever since then. So the market's telling us that it's going short. So we play off of the key levels here and there, but we try to stick with the trend as much as we can. Trading with the trend is much easier than trying to time reversals in the trend. And we're right back around this 60-30 area that I hate. And there is a lot of money to be made in futures. Just because the contracts they move so great. I mean, dollar wise, you don't even need large moves to make good money. I mean, because futures, like I said, just the way that it moves, it's way better than options. You don't need a lot of money in an account either to really make a lot. So for me, on a risk reward standpoint, it's the best thing to trade right now. Fewer games and just a lot smoother of a ride. But if you guys are still watching the SPY chart, you can see that SPY and ES are doing the exact same thing right now. Just whether you want to trade futures or options, but it's still S&P. Yeah. Sorry, I moved the mic away a little bit. Yes, I do prefer the S&P over the NQ, over Nasdaq, just because for my style of trading, like I say on here all the time that like I never try to like get the pinpoint bottom or the pinpoint top. I just kind of want to be in the vicinity of the direction that it's going. So for that reason, S&P works better for me because with NQ, where it is, the contracts cost more and, it moves in more points. So if you're not as precise on NQ, it's less forgiving. So, we could be, let's say that we go long on NQ and we're not exactly right on our entry. We're a little bit early. Let's just say that. With NQ, I mean, it could go down 30 or 40 points on you pretty quickly and still be in range that you think it's going to go long. So you got to make sure that you have the stomach and the account size to kind of handle those fluctuations. My account size can handle the fluctuations because I'm trading on large balance accounts. But you have to just be a little bit more precise and really dial in more. Not that we're not precise on ES, which we are. I mean, I think we're pretty dang precise on here, but I just prefer ES for those reasons. But I will say this: there's probably more money to be made on NQ. I mean, you can probably make more each day on NQ, but there's a lot more to be lost on NQ as well. So you got to be realistic with yourself and understand, you know, okay, I could probably make more money, but then on days that I'll lose more money. Um, you got to like do the math and see what you're going to make the most money at the end of the year. And maybe it is NQ, but for me, it's probably ES. And also just because I traded SPY for so long, I'm really freaking good at reading the S&P. So I just ES made sense for me. Yeah, we're just having a straight bleed out day on here. Um, I'm happy with my morning so far on this Friday. It was little bit choppier early on, to trade in the lame price action, but then it cleared up. And we got some good moves to the downside. We really do. Um, but yeah, I'm happy sitting here right now with what I'm up on the day. Um, and being Friday, the end of the week, we have OPEX today. We got a lot of stuff going on that's, working against us for some smooth price action. I'll probably just, keep my profits and end it right here. That last trade that we did, at least for me, it was a great one. So I'm happy, that we managed risk this morning. Like we took a lot of shots at it. Some of them went in, some of them didn't, but we managed risk on every one of them. And then the one that really went in, it was the buzzer beater that won the game for us. So I'll probably end it right here, guys. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate you guys. Like I said, I think in 4 weeks' time, we are the most watched stream on Twitter right now with concurrent viewers. So I appreciate you guys for that. That really does mean a lot to me. I try to make these streams as informative and easy to follow as possible. Because it's not that I want the most viewers. It's not about that. I want to put the best content out there and have our channel to be the place that you guys can actually learn, make money following along with us, and just hopefully become better traders. I'm not saying by any means that I'm the best trader in the world. I think that's a very wild thing to claim, and I miss a lot of trades, but I do think you know we hit a lot of wins and we have good solid risk management, and we know how to read charts here. So I hope that you guys are getting a lot from these streams too. That's important to me. Um, all right, guys. Well, happy Friday, and I will see you on Twitter in a bit. Remember, futures are ours now. We've completely taken over, and there's no slowing down. So, I hope that you guys keep making a lot of money with us. So I'll see you on Monday.